Going on, guys? Jeff back with another video review. Let's talk about algorithms briefly. We all know what they are. They collect our data. They target us with really crazy cool ads. I've been a victim of algorithms for a long time. I've been a sucker for buying a lot of stuff. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. I think we can all agree that they're pretty creepy. Well, recently eBay probably did a algorithm of all my searches and figured out that I look for a lot of robot stuff for some reason. They started sending me an ad for a site that was selling these, I believe, 8-inch Dairugger figures. For you guys who aren't familiar with Dairugger, it's basically the Vehicle Voltron. It was on for about a minute in the 1980s. I remember it really well. I never had that figure in the 80s. So it's just something that kind of just passed by me like a ship in the night, you know. But it's highly collectible. I know there's a lot of really cool manufacturers that make the Dairugger figure. And I've seen a lot of really cool ones that are really expensive. Toynami made a Shogun Warriors version a few years ago, and I'm still kicking myself in the butt for not buying it. So when this figure came up on eBay, I was on the fence, you know, to buy it. It was like, I believe, $15 or something, or $14.99. They sold like a ton of them apparently, and eBay sent me a $15 coupon. And I decided, I think around Thanksgiving, I said, man, I think I'll just put that $15 towards this figure. So with shipping and tax, I think I paid 53 cents for this guy. So here he is. It's the Chinese it's a Chinese knockoff, essentially, of the Dairugger figure. The reviews got, it got really good reviews on Facebook. I'm sorry, not Facebook, but eBay. So I was excited to get it. I got it in the mail the other day. I haven't opened it or anything, obviously, and I figured we'll take it back to the shop and pop this guy out. I'm pretty excited to add this to my collection, and when you can get something for 53 cents, I mean, how can you go wrong with that? So let's take her back to the shop, pop this guy out of his bubble pack, and review this Dairugger or Vehicle Voltron figure. Okay, guys, so we're back. This is the Dairugger 15, or the 1984 Vehicle Voltron figure. Before I get started, I'll tell you what this figure reminds me of. Not to date myself, but it reminds me of when I was a kid. You had a local grocery store, and you'd have a knockoff or an end cap at the store would be filled with knockoff toys. And this reminds me of something I would have seen back in the 80s. On one of the end caps of the local IGA grocery store that my parents shopped at. So this is what it reminds me of. Or I know KB Toys always had a lot of knockoff robots next to the Transformers and GoBots. So yeah, it's a pretty cool figure, actually, to be honest with you. He stands about 8 inches tall, which is accurate and in line with the description of the figure when I purchased him off eBay. It's made of pretty sturdy plastic, actually. I wouldn't give it to my kid to play with because he'd tear this thing apart. The figure snaps together just with pegs, so they just basically plug in. There's no there's no way to snap them in and keep them there, so they kind of tend to fall off. So this is going to be a glorified statue on my desk. To move him out of the way here, I'll show you the back of the card, which shows the vehicle combinations that you would have saw on the original Matchbox licensed version in the 1980s. It's a pretty nice card back, actually. The artwork's really nice, and it's just a nice figure, really. Like I said, well, I didn't say this earlier, but you can't really form these vehicles. It shows you being able to, but you can't. There's a company called Polyfect who I've seen makes ones that look just like this, so I'm kind of wondering if this is a knockoff of that brand of figure. But you're not able to form these two at least, you can form the machine here, and I'll briefly show you how I do it. But we'll take him apart here real quick, and you guys can see what I'm talking about. So he pops apart. Here's the two cars that were synonymous with the Vehicle Voltron of the 80s. It has a nice plastic chrome sword, pretty flexible, so there's some play in it, so you don't have to worry about maybe snapping it in half instantly. The arms pop off to reveal these little helicopter machines. The legs come apart, and they snap up here to form these little shuttle things. Now normally this part right here would pop in, and you'd be able to, like it shows up in the picture, you'd be able to snap those in something together, but they don't pop apart like that. So it's kind of a bummer, but I'm not going to be forming vehicles or anything. These pieces here pop apart. The shuttle comes off the chest, so you can take him and form that one vehicle I was talking about. So, yeah, we put him back together here, and then we'll say a few words about him. As you can see, it's just a nice smooth plastic, and it just pops in the socket there, so there's really nothing really keeping those together other than the friction between the plastic, which isn't much, especially since it's a Chinese knockoff. So it's a cool figure. It's going to be displayed next to my Super 7 Voltron. To be honest with you, I like this figure about the same as my Super 7 Voltron. And I paid 53 cents for this as opposed to like 60 for it. So, you know, sometimes things work out. Yeah, speaking of that, when you see my new What's in the Shop coming up, you'll see how maybe things that you ordered from China don't work out, because I've got a funny thing to share with you guys. But this actually worked out for 53 cents. The reviews were good on the site, and I took a chance, so I got him, and I really like him, and I enjoy the figure. He's going to be at my work with the rest of my collectibles, where there's just presently collecting dust because we're working from home. But yeah, I mean, this is a cool figure. I don't know if you can still find these. I did a search for them the other day because I was going to post a link in the description to these, but I couldn't find them. I found the Polyfect one, but it was like $40. So it makes me think that this was a knockoff that was done, and they just had so many of them, and they posted them right before Christmas and sold them all out to get the money. So that's about all, guys. I hope you liked the video. It's just a real quick thing I wanted to share with you. It's just a cool collection piece for me to add. So like and subscribe to the page. Share the videos. Leave me some comments. Don't like the video if you don't want to. I've noticed there's been some dislikes of some of my videos lately. I see those, and I'm trying to figure out why you don't like them, and hopefully trying to get that fixed. Just trying to make everybody happy, I guess. So we're midway through January. You know, it's a bizarre time, right? Maybe these aliens that show up here hopefully soon will be in giant robots. Wouldn't that be dope? Cheers, guys.